Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Brenna, and in today's video, I am just going to be getting ready for the day and talking about my skydiving experience yesterday. Yesterday was me and my husband's 12-year anniversary, and we got married on 8/8 of 2009. And skydiving is something my husband has always wanted to do. I swore I would never jump out of a plane, but I figured we've been married for 12 years. That's an incredible milestone. We haven't been able to do big things like this in the past financially. Now we're able to. So I was like, I'm going to take one for the team. I don't want my husband to go alone. So I went with him and it was quite the experience. So I'm just going to chat about it as I'm getting ready. I have all my makeup picked out already that I'm going to be using. I'm giving myself 20 minutes to shoot this video and get ready. So let's see if I can do it within that time. Yeah, I'm not going to mention what I'm using, but I will have everything linked down below. That way you can go and check it out if you would like. I need my mirror. Me and my husband's 12-year anniversary, 12 incredible, amazing years of marriage. And I just wanted to do something special for him. And skydiving was that special thing. So we've had this planned for, or we had it planned for about a month out. And so I was kind of prepping myself, honestly. Oh, here comes a kid. What's up, Zoe? No.
More chocolate chips.
Say hi.
More chocolate chips.
Not right now. Do you want to say hi? Come over here by me.
Hi.
Anyway, where was I? But yes, I wanted to do something special. So yeah, we had it planned about a month in advance. So I was prepping myself. And most of my prepping was imagining myself being inside of the plane and then opening the door and seeing how high up we were. And just telling myself like, yep, you're gonna jump, you're gonna do it, it's gonna be amazing and crazy and scary and just all of those emotions. So that was me prepping myself for this adventure. So while we waited, me and my husband just sat on a bench outside, watched the other people load planes, talked about how excited, nervous we were, all that kind of stuff. I was nervous when we first got there, just because I was like, oh, this is like legit happening. Like I'm jumping out of an airplane today. It started to like really sink in. So I was very nervous. We had to watch a video, which I didn't think was going to be like, hey, you could die while you jump, which obviously you know is a risk if you're going skydiving. But that's literally what the whole entire video was about. Like, hey, these are the risks. If something happens, you can't sue us. If you do sue us, you have to pay for all this financial stuff. And that's like literally what the whole video was about. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, what did I sign up for? Like I knew there were risks. I knew I could potentially die, but it was just like making it more real. So we watched that. Then we had to go outside and wait our turn. We waited probably only like, I would say a half an hour. It was not that long of a wait. They told us to carve out half a day just to be on the safe side. But we were only there for a couple hours. It went really quick. So we sat, we waited, we watched other people sometimes jumping out of the plane. They had like people who had their license, individual jumpers who would go up with tandem jumpers, and then you could see them jump out themselves and land in the field. And watching all of that, I didn't really feel nervous. The only thing that made me feel nervous was when the plane would take off with all of the jumpers in it, the door was open. And I'm like, Like someone literally sitting right by the door, and I'm like, why is the door not closed? Like I made a comment every single time because I'm just like, they better close that door when we get on that plane. So yeah, oops, we waited, we finally got called back. My trainer, who I was attached to, he was amazing, had a great sense of humor. Me, in any situation, humor is how I get through it. That is how I have always been. So I was happy that he had a sense of humor, because I was like, he's like, hey, you know, any special occasion today? I'm like, yeah, it's our 12-year anniversary. And he's like, oh, cool. I'm like, this is also my first time ever jumping from a plane. And he was like, cool, me too. So I was like, okay, at least you have a sense of humor and we can get through this together. But yeah, he got us all set up in our equipment, which I thought we would get like a jumpsuit, just like all this different kind of stuff. It is literally just like a harness that he put on you and connected, and it had like buckles in the front and everything. So I was kind of like, oh, like we don't get a helmet or anything. Like we're literally just in straps. I was like, okay, whatever. Like he knows what he's doing. He's the professional. I've seen several other people come down. They're okay. So it was finally our turn to go to the plane. So the plane landed. We waited. They do checks on the plane in between, fill it with gas if it needs to be filled. So they were doing that, and they did like some video of us and took some pictures of me and my husband. They tried to do a lot of it together as much as possible because we were married and it was our anniversary. So then it was time to board the plane, and me and all my beauty and grace whacked my head on the door of the plane as I was getting in. I'm just like, that's just me. That's just what happens. I'm just not paying attention. For some reason, once we were getting into the plane, I just got super excited. I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. My husband's like, please don't back out. I'm like, I'm not backing out. We paid for this, like good money, and you don't get a refund. Like I'm going, I'm jumping. So we get in the plane, and sure enough, we have to fly a little bit with the window open, like taking off, doors wide open. I'm like, okay, like why do you guys have the door open? And then it's like pressure, just has something to do with pressure. So we went with it open for a little bit, and then they closed it for a little bit, and then once it got closer, we were about like 13,000 feet up, is when they opened it again, and we jumped at 14,000. Now originally we had only signed up for 9,000 feet. And I was okay with that. It was a 30-second free fall with the 9,000. And then just after the free fall, you're just basically parachuting to the ground. So when we got there, the lady was like, well, you signed up for the 9,000 and that's great. You can do that. No big deal. She's like, but it goes by super duper fast. So just consider upgrading to the 14,000 feet. And I was like, I'm like, I don't know. My husband's like, it's completely up to you. And I was like, well, you can upgrade if you want to. But yeah, we just wanted to do the same thing. So I was like, okay, sure, upgrade it to the 14,000. I apparently was feeling crazy that day. And honestly, I was just like, okay, if I do this and I don't like it, like, I just want to be able to say that I did it once and it was like I went all out. So once we got close to the 14,000 height, and each of our trainers had like a wristwatch on that had like how high we were. And so my trainer showed me like, oh, we're this high. Okay, now we're 13,000 feet. We're going to be jumping soon. Like he was very much like walking me through the process of it, which I really, really loved. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to jump first just to get it done, but they ended up just letting my husband go first, which was completely fine. But they open the door, you look out and you see how high you are, and you're just like, I'm doing this. I'm jumping from a flippin' plane. Like, it like starts to process, but I still wasn't nervous. I was excited. And I was just kind of like, wow, this is weird. Like, I really thought I would be nervous, like feeling like I was gonna puke, like not ready to go, but I was just excited. So we made our way to the door of the plane, and I looked out and I was like, okay, here we go. And he counted down 3, 2, 1, and out we went. And so for the 14,000 feet, you get a 60-second free fall. So you're at 14,000 feet. They said they have to pull the chute. Is it like 5,000 or 5,500 feet? So if we're at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So we're at like 8,500 feet of just straight falling to the ground. Like, you're plummeting to the earth. The winds are 120 miles per hour. Yeah, you have like a little stabilizing parachute that's above you. But yeah, they say to keep your head up because that really helps. Plus I had my camera girl in front of me who was smiling at me and telling me to like do things like make a heart and blow a kiss and different things like that. I found it hard to breathe when I was up there because of course you're plummeting to the ground, and trying to breathe was just difficult for me. My husband said he didn't even think about it. Like, he was just like enjoying the moment and whatever, and I was just thinking like, wow, it's hard to breathe up here. So yeah, I'm not gonna get this video done in 20 minutes. I'm already at 15. I'm only on foundation. It really was a great experience. Like, it was scary, but it was great. So then after you fall, do your 60-second free fall, the parachute comes out. Now the parachute is painful because it's strapped, but you have straps like between your legs, like right in your thighs. And so when the parachute comes out, you pull up really fast, and then that just pulls and tugs right there. And so I was like, wow, okay, that's like super duper painful. But the pain goes away, and then you just realize like I looked down and I'm like, I'm just floating in the air towards the ground. So like the free fall is really intense, and then once the parachute comes out, you're just kind of gliding, and you're just like, oh, okay, like processing that you just fell 8,000 feet from a plane. And yeah, so my guy was like, how you doing? And I was like, I'm doing good. And so he kind of loosened some of the straps. He's like, there, this will make it easier to breathe now that we're just floating down. So then he let me hang on to the I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna call them steerers. There were these yellow loops that you could pull to like steer yourself to where you needed to go. He let me hang on to those. I didn't really do any pulling, but there was like a little thing for him to hang on to be able to like steer us. Now this is where it got me, is the steering, because there's spinning involved. And I used to be able to ride all kinds of spinning rides at the carnival, and now I just can't. I will instantly feel like vomiting everywhere. And so he probably did at least 5 turns while we were up there, and I did not feel good at all. I really thought I was going to vomit. I was like so close to it, and I was like, I don't want to puke. Like, there's all these people on the ground watching me. Like, I just didn't want it to happen. So I was trying so hard to keep it in, and yeah, he asked me like 3 times on the way down, like, how are you feeling? the first time I'm like, I'm not feeling good. I feel like I'm gonna puke. And he was like, okay, well, it happens. Like, you wouldn't be the first one. And I'm like, well, what happens if I need to puke? What do I do? And he's like, well, just try to hold it in. Like, we're almost there. As we're, you know, hovering over the ground. You know, like several feet in the air. So I'm like, okay. So he did about 5 turns. And before the 5th one, I was like, I don't know. Like, now he's like, how you doing? I'm like, I really feel like I'm going to faint. Like, I feel dizzy and all that stuff. And he's like, okay, well, we're almost there. He's like, this is the last turn, I promise. So I kept trying to close my eyes for the turns because I was like, I'm seriously going to hurl. Like, no doubt in my mind. So yeah, we made it to the ground. When you're landing, you're supposed to put your legs, like as you're coming down, you're supposed to put your legs straight out. Just kind of helps, you know, balance you and whatnot. My brain wasn't thinking of that, so I was doing absolutely nothing except hanging there. So the closer we got to the ground, I was like, I think I'm supposed to be doing something, but I just couldn't remember. My brain was just shot and my body was trying so hard not to get sick and pass out at the same time. So we literally touched ground and my legs just collapsed. Like, there was no standing up for me right when I hit the ground at all. I just kind of collapsed onto my knees and I was just holding my chest and I was just like, okay. Once I hit the ground, my body calmed down a lot and I didn't feel as sick. But I told my husband this morning, I'm like, I really think the reason I felt so sick was because of the spinning. If the spinning wasn't involved, I really think I would have been okay. Like, we were spinning up. He spun me a couple times during the free fall, but I wasn't thinking about it because I was plummeting to the ground. But once you're in that stable, like, just floating position, like this, I don't know, those turns really got to me. So yeah, hit the ground. They tried to do a little after interview with me and I just wasn't thinking. And my husband's interview once he hit the ground was much better than mine. But yeah, then me and my husband met up and he said to me, yeah, when you were coming in, you looked really pale. He's like, I was really worried about you. Like, oh no, she hated it. Like, yeah. I didn't cry though, which I was proud of myself. So yeah, after that, the trainers pick up all of the parachutes, different things like that, and you just kind of walk back with your gear on back to where you started, where you put your gear on, and you get everything taken off. And my guy kept asking me, did you have fun? Did you have fun? I'm like, yes, I really did have fun. I legitimately did. It just was like, you know, you're processing that you just jumped out of a plane at 14,000 feet above the ground. And yeah, it's just a lot for your brain to process. And so, yeah, we stuck around. We got a little certificate saying that we officially jumped out of a plane. I told my husband, I'm like, I did enjoy it. I had a really good time. It was a great experience. But it's probably one of those things I'm only going to do one time. Now, him, on the other hand, he could probably go back every weekend and he'd be completely happy. He loved it, and I'm glad, because it was for our anniversary and it's something that he really wanted to do. So I'm glad that he really enjoyed it and had a good time. Yeah, then after that, we considered, like, do we want to go anywhere to eat for our anniversary? What do we want to do? We just decided to come home, have lunch with our kids. Usually every Sunday after church we get Culver's. So since we were only there a couple hours, we honestly got home around the same time we would get home from church. So we just went, had Culver's, or well, I picked up Culver's and brought it home. And yeah, a couple hours later, we got our videos and pictures via email, and I'll try to insert a lot of pictures here, but it's hilarious because when you're free falling and winds are 120 miles an hour, your face looks fantastic. And I'm seriously, I was just dying at all of the pictures. I was like, I look incredible. So yeah, we were getting a kick out of that. We showed them the video. My 10-year-old's very jealous because he wants to skydive. And I'm like, dude, you gotta be 18 and you're gonna be going with your dad. Not gonna be going with me. I just did not like that puke feeling at all. That's pretty much my experience skydiving. Like I said, and I truly mean it, I did have fun. It was an excellent, excellent experience. And yeah, I just can't believe I did it. I woke up this morning and I'm just like, I can't believe I jumped out of a plane. And I just realized I'm putting on my blush with my highlighter brush. Not paying attention. Yeah, woke up this morning and was like, wow, I jumped out of a plane. And me and my husband keep randomly coming up to each other and going, guess what? And that person's like, what? We jumped out of a plane. We went to Chicagoland skydiving in Rochelle, Illinois. Yeah, if you live in my area and you are thinking about going skydiving, I would highly recommend them. They were awesome. They walked you through everything, made sure you felt like you were incredibly safe. They were just amazing. I know that if my husband goes skydiving again, that's probably where he'll go back to. Yes, I got done with that skydiving story way sooner than I thought I would in my makeup process. So, all right. That is all I have for this video. Obviously, this video might be a little bit longer because I'm chatting while I'm doing my makeup, but that's okay. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to my story. And if you have considered going skydiving, I would recommend that you at least do it once. And then you'll definitely know if you want to do it again or not. Like I said, for me, it was just the spinning and the turns. I really think that's what made me so nauseous and faint-like, because I can't handle spinning stuff like that anymore. Yeah, please don't forget to subscribe. If you are not, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you want to. And if you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell and then push all, and then you will be notified every single time I upload a video. All of those things that you can do for my channel, like, comment, subscribe, share, those all help my channel out so much, and I would greatly, greatly appreciate if you did those things. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.